Hello everyone, this is Chris with StickerFab. As usual, working 7 days a week to get this vehicle done. We have our 2024 Land Cruiser right here. This is a template that I wanted to do for a little while because this is soft touch, this is soft touch up here, but pretty much from here down, that is all hard plastic and it's really easy to scratch up. Usually we have to have this seat forward a lot because we have a child seat in the rear. So when our kids get in with their backpacks, they just scrape them along here and it just damages that soft plastic, makes scratches. Sometimes you can just rub on the scratches and get them out. But once you install our material on here, you really won't have to worry about that. It's pretty scratch resistant and it'll look good for years to come. Fully laminated, which makes it really thick. It's a special vinyl, real high tack, so it sticks to these rough surfaces. I'm gonna go print out something cool on this and get right back with you guys. Since I have this template built, we'll be able to do things like American flags, pretty much anything you want. Just leave comments in the comment section below or contact us. All right, everyone, I'm gonna try to give you the best view possible. What I have here is our template, all the pieces right there. I have StickerFab application fluid, which I highly recommend because this is very high tack material, which means it's very sticky. It'll wanna just stick in place immediately. It is 81 degrees. You wanna keep it fairly warm, I would say above 70 degrees. I have a squeegee that'll help us get out some of that water. What you want to do is clean this down. I'd use a microfiber towel and some interior detailer. Anything that doesn't have like Armor All or something like that in it, you can use isopropyl alcohol. Just make sure it's dry. If you're in a real humid environment, it might take a little bit to dry. Sometimes I just use my StickerFab application fluid and clean that off. I'm going to start with some of the smallest bits. I'm actually going to go inside this little keyhole first. So we have to grab this very, very, very small piece, and I don't know if we'll weed this out or not, but there's a little insert right here for the key. I'm just going to put it right there. Probably won't use it because we probably want to keep that key access open. I'm going to spray some of that application fluid so we can easily align this and then move it if necessary. If my initial alignment wasn't good, I can slide it around or take it back off. I'm just going to use my finger to kind of squeegee that one out. And then I'll move along to the next biggest piece, which is the latch. Kind of like that little pull handle. I will have to take this little piece out right here. It's kind of too thin for us to weed before we send to you, but it's really easy for you to do it. Really sticky. Okay, I'm going to spray this down as well. Try to get my head level with this. It's getting a little dark out here. I started making this template a lot earlier, and there was more light. Okay, so got that guy done. I have the seatbelt protectors behind me. Those are with white lines, but I wanted to get something that was closer to our interior, closer to this Java interior, so this doesn't stick out as much. I want it kind of to be a little subtle. All right, we will do the biggest piece next. I'm going to peel it back and spray because it's just so big. Like, this stuff is so sticky that it'll pull off your hairs if you stick it against your body. Unless you're like a hairless cat. Careful not to let any wind catch it. I'm going to spray this whole thing down. Mainly at the top because gravity will pull some of that down into the other areas. I'm just going to spread that out. What you do is you use things that you can easily line, like the top here. Pull it tight, make sure it's going all across the top. It's trying to dip down right there, so I'm going to pull it up and then push it back down. Try not to stretch this out because it is pretty close to size here. Now that it's tacked across the top, I'm going to go straight down the middle, just a little bit, not all the way, and then go out to the side here, go out to the other side, go all the way down the middle, kind of push my way out from that center. Make sure nothing is binding here, nothing's creasing. So that's why I use my fingers too, because the squeegee is like a real hard surface and it'll just push right through, and sometimes it'll crease material if the material doesn't have a good place to go to. So you can kind of feel it out with your fingers better if it's about to bunch up. We'll pull this down a little bit, wrap it around this edge, because I did extend kind of into that area. Now, because I wet it, I might have to come back or use a little bit of heat, wait for this to dry out. Sometimes if you push vinyl like this, it'll bunch up and crease. So in the beginning, I do recommend just rolling it straight over the edge. And if you've already gotten it down like that and just need a little bit of extra pressure, then I come back and push down, going horizontally. So if there's too much material on this side, I can either pull it back up and push it over that way, or I can heat it up and just roll it over the edge. When I was initially doing this template, I was more to the left, and now I'm sitting a little further to the right. But there's going to be a lot of water, a lot of sticker fab application fluid, especially towards the bottom. So I'm just going to let this dry out before I get it 100% down. I can use my squeegee on the edge as well. This glove box actually moves back and forth pretty easily. So if you can't get your squeegee in there, you can kind of just like push it over to one side. That's what I did when it was over to the left more. I kind of pulled it back. Really, this install is just about time and patience. Because I'm on camera, I'm trying to go a little bit faster. But a part of me just wants to get it installed right the first time, not have to come back with heat and whatnot. That doesn't make for a very interesting install video. All right, so now I'm going to take this piece on the edge, and of course, going to wet it as well. It's a smaller piece, so a little bit easier to align. Then we have the bottom piece. Gonna tuck it all the way up in here. Move it to the left a little. Because all of these pieces start off aligned to each other. So depending on the installation, you might get it off just slightly. The contour lines might not line up perfectly, depending on your install, but in general, it should look pretty good. It's bunching up right here. I'm just gonna peel it up, push it back down. edge, I'm gonna push my squeegee into that corner. I need to use the narrower edge. That's fine too. This material is really scratch resistant since it's laminated. I mean, I just printed it out and just laminated it, and I have no worries that it's gonna be able to handle that hard plastic squeegee. I'm gonna go in and get a little heat gun so I can encourage this adhesive to go down. Basically, it'll dry it out and it'll activate the adhesive by heating it up. And then heat plus pressure equals sticking. All right, what I have here is a portable heat gun. It's only hooked up to this little Craftsman battery. You guys, if you didn't remember, you probably have a 2400 watt inverter at the back of this vehicle, so you can get a real heat gun out here. You can get a hair dryer. Really, you don't need it to get that hot. We're not totally wrapping this like a normal wrap installer. We're just doing a little do-it-yourself installation on a mostly flat surface. We're just getting into all these edges, rolling them around the corners, making sure it's not bunching up, making sure everything is not visible. And then you're pretty much done. I feel a lot of liquid still coming out of this, so it's got to dry, but looks pretty darn good. Alrighty, let's take one last look at this fully installed. You can see all the protection. You can see the trim on the door versus the seats, that Java look. And you can find all of this stuff on stickerfab.com. Please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already, and hit that bell notification icon for the latest and greatest things I am coming out with for the 2024 Land Cruiser.